This is Mike Corey from ESPN, and you're listening to the Sports Objective Podcast, the unofficial podcast of the Pirates.
Yeah. My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down to my soul, and I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode. From the sidelines down to the post, put it down like not even close. All out to the last whistle blow. From the flag with the soul and crossbones. Everybody stand up.
Welcome into the Sports Objective. Hope everyone is having an excellent week as we're here on Wednesday, getting ready for some East Carolina basketball here in just a little over a half hour if you're watching this live on Pirates taking on Temple. But right now we are talking East Carolina football and very excited to continue to take a look at Crew XXII, and that is, of course, East Carolina's 2022 football signing class. The Pirates lost 3 deep snappers into the transfer portal this year, including starter Slade Roy, who ended up at LSU. But the Pirates have already brought in Alex Harper of North Carolina Central, and right now, very excited to welcome into the show Tripp Smith of Hillcrest High School down in Simpsonville, South Carolina. Tripp, we appreciate your time this evening.
All right, thank you for having me on this night.
Absolutely. Very excited about you becoming a Pirate. You're offered a PWO preferred walk-on opportunity with East Carolina and Mike Houston and staff. So just talk about your recruitment. Coming out of out of Simpsonville, South Carolina, Hillcrest High School. Just talk about your path to East Carolina and some of the other schools you considered in the process.
So my recruitment was it was kind of slow in my opinion for the start of it. I had a busy summer last summer. I went to a bunch of schools and then everything kind of died down. And then I wasn't really having much communications with any schools. And then one day, Coach Dowse just texted me on Twitter. And then we start building our relationship from there. And then I come up on a visit. And then I believe it was last weekend I come up on the visit. And it was such a great time. I just decided to commit when they offered me a PWO.
Now, I know when you came to Greenville, you had very, you really were impressed with what you saw. You not only did you love Mike Houston, Coach Dowse that you just referenced, the special teams coordinator, and the entire coaching staff that you had the chance to meet. Just the vibe you got going around Greenville is the epitome of a college town.
Yeah, so just the school in general was very impressive. It was all nice facilities. It was a great feel, just around, going around the college. And then the coaching staff was just tier 1. They were all amazing. They're all good people. Coach Dowse is just a wonderful person, and Coach Houston is just amazing. So,
before we continue to talk about things with East Carolina, just talk. Tell folks, long snapping is kind of a different deal, in terms of, how you go about it. And what I mean by that is, long snappers, you have, I believe it's a Chris Rubio in the greater Charlotte area. He's very, very well known. I know Slade Roy, the outgoing long snapper for the Pirates from a year ago. I believe he worked with him, but just talk about, some of those individuals that you worked with and, where you really honed your craft of long snapping.
So I started out working with Cole snapping with Casey Casper and Blaine Sitters, and they've always been amazing to me. They helped me, start this whole thing. And then about 2 years ago, I started working with Adam Tanowski, and he's just been wonderful. He's been there with me throughout my whole recruitment. He's helped me get to the snapper I am today. He really knows his stuff, and he's the best coach out there.
Absolutely. And, just give us an idea, just talk about some, how old were you when you started long snapping, and, what were some of those things that those individuals you just referenced really emphasize in terms of your development?
So I started snapping when I was about in 8th grade, but I honestly like didn't really know what I was doing. I had some fundamentals and mechanics, but I wasn't that good, to be honest. And then when I started talking to these guys, they emphasize form so much, and they really changed the way I snapped, and it helped me so much. And they helped me make strides that I couldn't imagine I could make. So
Now, Tripp, you talk about throughout the process, have you had the opportunity to, in addition to the individuals you've already referenced, to work with any current college snappers or maybe even NFL snappers?
um I work with a bunch of guys that were all in high school, but they're all committed to college. They're all FBS commits. We usually all work together. And then I've worked with Gunnar Daniel. He's the snapper at Boston College. I work with Seth Cottingem. He was the long snapper at Arkansas State, and Travis Malinowski. He was the snapper at Temple.
Yeah, interesting. You bring up the deep snapper at Boston College. Kind of coincidental, I guess, that or a little ironic that you bring that up with everything the Pirates and Eagles went through back at the end of December, unfortunately being unable to play the Military Bowl up in Annapolis.
Yeah, that kind of stinks.
Did that come up at all with your buddy who snaps for BC?
It actually did, because he texted me. He was like, "Oh, I wish I could have played your team there before." So
yeah, and I know before we dive back into East Carolina specifically, I know you're a multi-sport athlete in addition to long snapping. So you also throw the javelin for your high school's track team, and that's something here within the state of North Carolina, like I was telling you off the air, that our track programs do not have.
yeah, so I picked up javelin last year as a junior. I played baseball as a freshman and sophomore, and then I just decided it wasn't for me, honestly. And then I was like, I'll try track. And then after 1 year, I ended up being region champion and making the all region team and all county team. And then I made it up to state qualifiers, and I didn't make it to state, but it was overall a really good first year, and I'm looking to get better this year.
So back to the Pirates, talk about, you've already referenced, your love of the coaching staff, the love of the city of Greenville, and, really being the epitome of a college town in terms of the support. You see purple and gold, Pirate paraphernalia all around town. So just talk about, your familiarity with East Carolina football and, being in the American Athletic Conference and down through the years. This is a program that's had a lot of success and is getting back to that under Mike Houston. Yeah,
so I know East Carolina, they always have crazy game days because everybody supports the football program. So I'm excited and I'm looking forward to that. And, it's just with Coach Houston, he's really turned this program around and he's doing great things, and I believe in what he's doing. So I have full faith in them.
Now, when you came in on your visit recently, did you have the opportunity to interact with kicker Owen Daffer?
I did not, sadly.
Okay. Because as I'm sure you're probably aware, Owen had a remarkable, COVID freshman season. He had been a part of the program a year ago, but did not lose that eligibility because of the COVID eligibility rules. But man, what a year he had, including that game winner up in Annapolis, where he knocked one in from 54.
Yeah, Coach Douse told me about that. That's really awesome.
So, yeah, tremendous kicker, and one of the things that Coach Doust and Coach Houston would always say, not to get off on a tangent, but they said, and this is a great thing, especially as a kicker, being in those high pressure situations like he was at Navy, is just being, kind of a cool customer and not really being, distracted by some of the things that you can be. He's someone that was not uptight, to put it mildly.
Yeah. It's just in those situations you just kind of got to stay cool because you've done it 1,000 times before. It's the same thing. It's not different. So
No doubt about it. And are you going to be arriving on campus for the first semester of summer school?
yes, I will be arriving. I think they said in June. So
And you had the chance to meet John Williams, the Big John, the strength coach, on your visit.
I did get the chance to meet Big John.
Nice. So yeah, I'm sure you'll obviously get to know him very well in the coming months. But now as you're wrapping up your high school career, the final semester here, and just talk about some of the things that you're going to be doing, kind of your daily or routine as you go through the off season, preparing to be ready to roll. Just like I said, it's kind of a different animal as a kicker. Kickers just they'll go out. I mean, they don't want to kick too much, but as a deep snapper, just talk about some of those things, the drill work that's involved, and things that a lot of people may not know about because some people that coach football or really even follow it closely, they don't know a whole lot about deep snapping.
So really for off season, I try to focus on, getting more athletic overall and gaining speed and getting stronger and improving my flexibility. So typically during the off season, I snap 2 to 3 times a week. I have 2 to 3 sessions. And then on those other days, I'm doing small drills at my house to help me stay into it. So, or I'll do a set of field goal snaps instead of going out to the field and doing full 15-yard snaps.
And I know one of the things that coaches obviously look at is that time time from when it leaves your hands until it hits the punter's hands, that pop time, if you will, kind of like in baseball. So just talk about that, and where is yours right now, and some of the improvement that you've seen there as you've gotten stronger.
So right now, my snap time ranges from about a 0.66 to a 0.68 second snap time. And, that's drastically improved because when I was a sophomore, I was throwing, 0.74, 75. So, really just growing and becoming just filling out my body really helped drop those times. And then obviously form has a bunch to do with it because if you don't have the right form, you can't throw the ball correctly. So just, getting older and more mature in my snapping just really helped drop those snap times.
Now on your high school team, or are you strictly deep snapper, or are you playing other positions as well?
So I was a backup offensive lineman for my team, but I didn't really play that much. So I just long snapped the whole year.
And I saw in Stephen Igo's excellent article that he had on hoistthecolors.net. I encourage Pirate fans to go and check that out if they had not done so already. But are you 6'1", 225, something like that?
Right now I'm sitting at a cool 6'2", 210, 215, depending on the time of the day I weigh.
Okay.
So.
And final thing I have for you, just talk about as you're set to begin your college career. Do you have any idea what you want to major in? Any idea where you want to go career wise?
So I've decided that I'm gonna major in nursing, and I'm gonna go to nursing school when I go to ECU. And then if I want to go to med school whenever I graduate, I'll go to med school. But for what I really want to do, I don't need med school. So
You certainly picked an excellent school for anything medical related. As you know, here recently, within the last few months, Vidant Medical Center, as I'm sure you had the chance to take a look at on your visit, became ECU Health.
yeah, I did see that. It was really amazing. It was such nice facilities.
Well, Tripp, we certainly appreciate your time here in the middle of the week. I know you're busy with your studies and so forth, but I appreciate you carving out 15 minutes for us. And we look forward to having you in Greenville, when June rolls around.
I'm looking forward to being up there. I'm super excited. So